Have you ever had this brilliant, vivid image stuck in your head, but trying to get an AI to actually create it feels, well, impossible? You are definitely not alone. The secret isn't just about having a great idea. It's about learning how to talk to the AI. So today, we're going to break down how to turn your vision into a stunning image by really mastering that creative dialogue with your AI partner.
And this quote right here, it perfectly frames what we're talking about. A prompt isn't just you barking a command at a machine. It's the start of a conversation. You bring the imagination, the AI brings the raw artistic skill, and the prompt, well, that's the language you both have to speak to build something amazing together.
And this slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, a lighthouse. Okay, sure, but the AI has to guess what you mean, and it's probably going to pull the most boring average lighthouse from its data. But on the right, that's not a prompt. That's a recipe for a whole mood, a whole story. And that precision is what separates a generic stock photo from a work of art.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with the big picture, the AI creative dialogue. Then we'll get our hands dirty and dissect the anatomy of a prompt. After that, we'll level up with some advanced techniques, talk about platform dialects, which is super important, and finally, we'll see it all come together with some real-world case studies. Okay, let's jump right in with section 1. The AI creative dialogue. Look, if there's one thing you need to get about generative AI, it's this. It is completely 100% literal. It doesn't guess your artistic intent or feel the mood you're going for. It only understands the exact words you give it. That's why being precise is everything.
And that right there is the whole ballgame. There's this huge gap between the incredible idea in your head and what the AI spits out. Learning this very specific language of instruction is how you close that gap. It's what takes you from getting those kind of weird, slightly off results to creating professional-grade visuals that actually match what you were imagining. All right, moving on to section 2. Now that we understand the why, let's really get into the how. We're going to deconstruct a powerful prompt and break it down into its core pieces. Think of it like a repeatable formula you can use every single time for more creative control.
So here it is, the perfect recipe for a prompt. You always start with your main ingredient, the subject. What is this an image of? Then you start layering in the details. What's the visual style? Is it a photo or a painting? Then you set the stage with the composition. Is it a close-up, a wide shot? Then you add the mood with lighting and a color palette. And finally, you add that pro polish with technical details like high resolution. Every single layer gives you more and more control. And here's that recipe in action. It's night and day, right? On the left, a product on a table. I mean, that could be anything. But look at the right. We used our formula. The subject is wireless earbuds. The composition is a minimalist marble surface. The lighting is soft studio lighting. The style is clean product photography. You see, the result isn't a guess. It's a professional shot executed to spec.
Okay, you've got the fundamentals down. Let's get into section 3 and talk about some advanced techniques. This is where we go beyond just telling the AI what to make and start telling it how much to focus on certain things, and, just as importantly, what to completely leave out. First up is something called term weighting. Honestly, the best way to think about this is like a volume knob for the different parts of your prompt. If that lighthouse is the absolute hero of your image, you can turn up the volume on it, telling the AI, hey, pay extra attention to this part. Now here's the catch, and it is a big one. As you can see here, different platforms speak different dialects. In Stable Diffusion, you might use parentheses and a number to boost something's importance. But in Midjourney, use a double colon. You can't just ignore this. You have to use the specific grammar that your tool understands if you want this level of control. Now, just as powerful as telling the AI what you want is telling it what you don't want. And that's where negative prompts come in. They are your secret weapon for quality control, helping you get rid of all those common AI goofs and visual junk before they ever show up. So in practice, you'll have a special little box where you can just list out all the things you want to avoid. You know the usual suspects: blurry, low quality, watermark, and of course the classic AI mistakes like bad hands or extra limbs. Think of these as guardrails that keep your AI on the right track, ensuring the final image is clean and professional. So how in the world does this actually work? Well, the leading theory is this really cool idea called deletion through neutralization. Basically, when you tell the AI to avoid something, like the word text, it creates a kind of anti-text signal. During the creation process, the signal for text and the signal for anti-text meet, and poof, they just cancel each other out, effectively erasing it from the final picture. It's fascinating stuff.
But for the absolute ultimate level of control, you can stop telling the AI and start showing it what you want. You can give it a reference image to copy a character's face or a specific artistic style. This is an absolute game changer for keeping things consistent, especially if you use a specific feature like Midjourney's character reference tool.
And this leads us perfectly into Section 4, platform dialects. We've already touched on this, but the differences are deeper than just a bit of syntax. A prompt that works perfectly in one model might totally flop in another. And the reason is that these models have been trained to understand language in fundamentally different ways.
You can kind of break it down with this 4-tier system. Up at Tier 1, you've got models like Stable Diffusion that live and breathe weighted keywords. Tier 2, that's Midjourney, which adds special commands on top of those keywords. Then you get to Tier 3 with DALL-E 3, which actually prefers you to talk to it in full natural sentences. And Tier 4 is for simpler models that just need a few words. The big takeaway? Know your tool and speak its language.
Okay, Section 5. Let's bring it all home. We've talked a lot of theory, but now let's see how all these techniques come together to take a fuzzy idea and turn it into a precise, beautifully executed image.
First up, character design. A weak prompt is just a cyberpunk character. You could get literally anything. But for the image on the right, the prompt was a full creative brief. The subject is a street vendor with weathered features. The composition is a medium shot from a low angle. The lighting is dramatic neon. Every detail is there, turning a vague idea into a full-fledged character concept.
It's the exact same story with architecture. An office building is basically playing the lottery, but the image on the right came from a prompt that specified the style, modern sustainable, the materials, glass and wood, the camera angle, street level looking up, and the lighting, golden hour. For professional results, these details aren't optional, they're essential.
So, let's tie this all together. If you remember one thing today, make it this. A great prompt is a recipe. It's not about finding one magic word. It's a methodical process. You start with your core subject, and then you layer in the style, the composition, the lighting, and all the little details that guide the AI right to the vision you have in your head. And all of this leaves us with a really fascinating question to think about. As we all get more and more fluent in this new language of AI, who's the real artist here? Is it the human who has the vision and writes the perfect recipe? Or is it the AI, which has the technical skill to execute it flawlessly? It's a totally new kind of creative partnership, and honestly, we're just scratching the surface of what's possible.